What if the backup quarterback you barely noticed all season suddenly became your franchise's most valuable trade chip? That's the jaw-dropping reality facing the San Francisco 49ers right now. And frankly, it's the kind of plot twist that makes the NFL offseason absolutely electric. Mac Jones, yes, that Mac Jones, the former New England Patriots first-rounder, who many had written off, has quietly transformed himself into one of the hottest commodities heading into the 2026 offseason. And the compensation the 49ers could command, it's enough to make general managers across the league either salivate or panic, depending on which side of the negotiating table they're sitting. Let me paint you a picture of what's unfolding in the shadows of NFL front offices right now, because this story has everything. Redemption arcs, shrewd roster management, desperate quarterback-needy teams, and the tantalizing possibility of San Francisco pulling off one of the smartest trades in recent memory. The resurrection of Mac Jones. From afterthought to asset, when the 49ers signed Mac Jones to a modest 2-year deal back in March, most analysts viewed it as a low-risk insurance policy. Brock Purdy was the established starter, and Jones would serve as a competent backup, nothing more, nothing less. But then injuries struck, as they always seem to in this brutal sport, and Jones was thrust into the spotlight. In 8 starts this season, Jones didn't just manage games, he commanded them, completing 69.6% of his passes for 2,151 yards, 13 touchdowns against only 6 interceptations. Jones displayed the kind of consistency and grit that makes NFL decision-makers start scribbling notes and making phone calls. This wasn't the overwhelmed quarterback we saw struggling in New England's chaotic final years under Bill Belichick. This was a poised, confident signal caller executing Kyle Shanahan's offense with precision and intelligence. The 49ers kept themselves firmly in playoff contention during Purdy's absence, and Jones deserves enormous credit for that achievement. He made the throws when they mattered, protected the football, and demonstrated the kind of leadership that translates across locker rooms. Suddenly, what seemed like a throwaway signing became a masterclass in value creation. The contract that changes everything here's where this story gets absolutely fascinating from a business perspective, and why teams around the league are reportedly circling like sharks, sensing blood in the water. Jones is under contract through 2026 at just $4.66 million. Read that number again and let it sink in. In today's NFL, where mediocre quarterbacks routinely command $30 to $40 million annually, having a proven starter-caliber quarterback at less than $5 million is borderline absurd. It's the kind of financial flexibility that allows teams to build championship rosters around the position without mortgaging their entire salary cap future. As NFL insider Albert Breer astutely pointed out in his Sports Illustrated Q&A column, you're not just trading players, you're trading contracts. And Jones' contract is pure gold for any team looking to compete immediately while maintaining financial flexibility. Add in the possibility of using the franchise tag on Jones in 2027 if things go exceptionally well, and you've got a multi-year solution at the league's most important position for a fraction of the typical cost. This is what separates smart front offices from desperate ones. The 49ers recognized value where others saw a reclamation project, and now they're positioned to flip that investment for significant draft capital. The suitors. Who's desperate enough to pay up? Multiple reports, including analysis from Pro Football Talk's Mike Florio, have identified several teams as potential landing spots for Jones. The Minnesota Vikings have emerged as the most frequently mentioned destination, and the fit makes tremendous sense. Minnesota faces a quarterback crossroads. Their current situation lacks long-term clarity, and Jones represents an affordable bridge option who could legitimately start for 2 to 3 seasons while they develop a younger prospect or wait for the right opportunity to strike on a franchise quarterback. For a Vikings team with playoff aspirations and a strong supporting cast, Jones could be exactly what they need to remain competitive without breaking the bank. The Miami Dolphins present another intriguing possibility. With expensive veteran contracts potentially coming off the books and questions surrounding their quarterback position, Jones offers a cost-effective alternative who thrives in offensive systems that emphasize timing and rhythm, exactly what Miami's scheme demands. Don't sleep on the Arizona Cardinals either. They're in the midst of a rebuild, but have shown they're willing to be creative in their approach to roster construction. Jones could provide stability while they continue developing their young core, and his contract would allow them to invest heavily in other positions of need. What all these teams have in common is a desire to avoid overpaying for the quarterback position while remaining competitive. Jones checks every box: proven production, affordable contract, scheme versatility, and leadership qualities. He's not a long-term franchise savior, but he's absolutely a winning bridge quarterback, and those are incredibly valuable in today's NFL. The compensation, what would it take? Now, we arrive at the million-dollar question, or more accurately, the second-round pick question. What would the 49ers realistically demand in return for Mac Jones? Breer's projection is both reasonable and tantalizing: a second-day pick, rounds 2 to 3, in the 2026 NFL Draft, plus a conditional third-day selection in 2027. For context, that's likely a third-round pick guaranteed, with a fourth or fifth-rounder contingent on playing time or performance benchmarks. Is that fair value? Absolutely. Consider what teams have historically paid for starting-caliber quarterbacks, even on short-term deals. The 49ers would be receiving premium draft capital for a player they signed as a backup who has 1 year remaining on an incredibly team-friendly contract. That's the definition of maximizing asset value. Some might argue San Francisco should demand more, perhaps a straight second-rounder, and honestly, they might get it if multiple teams enter a bidding war. Quarterback-desperate franchises do irrational things, and the combination of Jones' performance, contract, and availability could create the perfect storm for an overpay situation. From the 49ers' perspective, this is risk-free evaluation. They know Purdy is their guy moving forward. Keeping Jones as an expensive backup makes little sense when they could convert him into draft picks that address other roster needs. It's cold-blooded business, but it's smart football management. The bigger picture: San Francisco's front office brilliance step back and appreciate what the 49ers have accomplished here. They identified an undervalued asset, signed him to a team-friendly deal, provided him with an opportunity to showcase his abilities in a winning system, and now they're positioned to flip him for significant draft compensation. This is textbook front office excellence. General Manager John Lynch and his staff deserve enormous credit for this maneuver. While other teams were chasing expensive free agents or trading premium picks for marginal upgrades, San Francisco played the long game. They understood that value exists everywhere in the NFL. You just have to be smart enough to recognize it and patient enough to let it develop. This is how sustainable success is built in the modern NFL. You can't rely solely on high draft picks or blockbuster free agent signings. You need to identify market inefficiencies, exploit them, and convert those opportunities into long-term assets. The potential Mac Jones trade represents all of those principles in action. As we move deeper into the offseason, expect the Jones rumors to intensify. Teams will conduct their evaluations, weigh their options, and ultimately, someone will make an offer the 49ers can't refuse. Whether it's Minnesota, Miami, Arizona, or a dark horse candidate nobody's discussing yet, Jones will almost certainly be wearing a different uniform come September 2026. For San Francisco, this represents another chapter in their ongoing quest to remain Super Bowl contenders. The draft picks they acquire for Jones could become starting offensive linemen, defensive playmakers, or future trade ammunition for the next opportunity that presents itself. For Jones himself, this is the ultimate validation. He resurrected his career, proved he belongs in this league, and now he'll get another opportunity to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. That's a remarkable turnaround from where he was just 12 months ago. The Mac Jones trade saga is everything we love about NFL offseason drama. Intrigue, strategy, redemption, and the constant chess match between competing franchises. The 49ers positioned themselves brilliantly. Jones seized his opportunity magnificently, And now multiple teams are scrambling to figure out how to acquire him without overpaying. My prediction? San Francisco gets their second-day pick, Jones lands with a contender, and everyone walks away feeling like they won. That's the beauty of a well-executed trade. When the value aligns perfectly with the need, everybody benefits. One thing's certain. The next few months will be absolutely fascinating to watch unfold. What do you think the 49ers should demand for Mac Jones? Is a third-round pick enough, or should they hold out for more? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to smash that like button if you want more insider analysis on the biggest NFL storylines.